Have you ever noticed how often we chase happiness in the faces and approval of others? We keep searching outside, hoping someone will make us feel whole. But what if the quiet secret to lasting happiness is already resting within you, waiting for your attention? There is an old Buddhist teaching that whispers, peace is not something you find, it is something you uncover within. Imagine this. Instead of running towards the world's endless noise and demands, you sit with yourself in gentle silence. In that moment, you realize you carry a treasure far greater than anything others could ever give you, your own unshakable presence. Today, I invite you to walk with me through 7 powerful lessons that reveal the hidden joy of solitude. You'll discover that being alone is not emptiness or loneliness, but a sacred space where your spirit finds its true strength. Take a breath, settle in, and let us begin this journey to find the profound happiness that only blooms when you truly come home to yourself. 1. Choosing solitude over empty company. Think about this for a moment. How many times have you stayed around people simply to avoid feeling alone, even when their presence added no true value to your life? We live in a world that glorifies constant connection. We're told that the more people we surround ourselves with, the happier we'll be. But Buddhist wisdom gently reminds us of a deeper truth. It is far better to walk your path alone than to lose yourself among those who bring no light to your journey. When you choose solitude over empty company, something beautiful begins to happen. You remove the noise of unwise opinions, shallow conversations, and hidden judgments. In that silence, your mind becomes clear, your heart becomes light, and your spirit begins to breathe again. Imagine sitting alone under a vast sky, feeling the earth beneath you. There is no chatter, no forced laughter, no masks to wear. Just you, your breath, and the quiet knowing that in this moment, you are complete. True wisdom emerges when you're no longer distracted by the chaos of meaningless social interactions. Solitude creates a sacred space for your inner voice to grow louder and clearer. You begin to hear your intuition guiding you, your creativity blossoming, and your soul finding its way back home. Buddha once said, if you find no one to support you on the spiritual path, walk alone. There is no companionship with the immature. So, remember this, it is better to be alone and at peace than surrounded by people who cloud your spirit. Solitude is not a curse. It is a gift that nurtures growth, clarity, and the quiet strength that no one can ever take away from you. 2. Discovering yourself through solitude. Have you ever asked yourself, who am I when no one is watching? In the rush of daily life, we often lose sight of our true selves. We wear different masks for work, family, and friends until one day we realize we no longer know what lies beneath them. Buddhist wisdom teaches that spending time alone is not just an act of isolation, it is an act of discovery. When you sit in solitude, free from the expectations and judgments of others, you create a sacred space to meet yourself honestly. Imagine sitting quietly, away from the world's noise. At first, your mind may wander. Thoughts will come and go like passing clouds. But slowly, as you breathe deeper into the present, something beautiful begins to unfold. You start seeing your hidden desires, silent fears, and unspoken dreams with clarity. It is in these silent moments that you begin to question your thoughts and motivations. You ask yourself, why do I seek certain things so desperately? What am I truly afraid of? What brings my soul genuine peace? Through meditation or simple reflection, you peel away the layers of conditioned beliefs, the ideas planted in you by society, family, or past experiences. Underneath all these layers, you find your truest self, untouched, whole, and radiant. Buddha often reminded his disciples that knowing oneself is the beginning of all wisdom. When you understand who you are, you no longer chase after fleeting pleasures or validation from others. You stand grounded in your truth, unshaken by life's uncertainties. Remember, the answers to many of your deepest questions are not hidden somewhere far away. They already reside within you, waiting patiently to be uncovered. Every quiet moment spent alone is a step closer to meeting your own soul. And in that meeting, you will find a peace that no one can ever give or take away. 3. Transforming the fear of loneliness into strength. Why does being alone scare so many of us? Perhaps it's because in the quiet, there is no one left to distract us from ourselves. The silence forces us to meet the person we often avoid, our true self. But Buddhist wisdom invites us to see loneliness not as an emptiness to escape, but as a powerful doorway to growth. Imagine this. Instead of running from the silence, you step into it. At first, it feels uncomfortable, like walking into a dark cave. But as your eyes adjust, you begin to see treasures hidden in its quiet corners, parts of yourself you never knew existed. Being alone is not a punishment. It is a sacred opportunity to confront your fears, your insecurities, and the shadows you carry within. It is in this meeting that true transformation begins. As you spend time alone, you slowly realize something profound. You are complete on your own. The need for external validation fades, and a quiet confidence rises within you. You become emotionally resilient, no longer depending on others to tell you who you are or how worthy you should feel. Buddha taught that the fear of loneliness is rooted in the false belief that we are incomplete. But when we release this belief, we step into a freedom beyond all attachments. We no longer cling to relationships that drain our energy or situations that keep us small. Instead, in the stillness of solitude, you become your own anchor. You stand rooted and unshaken by the absence of others. You find beauty in your own presence, like a mountain unbothered by the passing winds. So, the next time loneliness knocks on your heart, do not shut the door. Welcome it as a teacher. Sit with it. Listen to it. And you will find that within this silence lives a strength deeper than any companionship could ever offer. 4th, solitude, the gateway to self-discovery. Imagine for a moment a quiet forest, untouched by human voices. The only sounds are the rustling of leaves, the soft whispers of the wind, and your own steady breath. This is the sacred space solitude offers you, a place free from the noise of opinions, expectations, and endless comparisons. In the teachings of Buddhism, solitude is not just a time of being alone, it is a powerful gateway to understanding your true nature. When you step away from the world's constant chatter, you begin to hear something far more important, the voice of your own heart. Without distractions, you can finally listen deeply to your thoughts and feelings. You begin to see clearly. What are your genuine strengths? What passions light your spirit with joy? What values truly matter to you beyond what society tells you? So many of us spend our lives running from one task to another, one relationship to another, never pausing long enough to ask ourselves, who am I beyond all this busyness? Solitude gives you the chance to recalibrate your goals and realign with your true values. It's like cleaning a dusty window. Suddenly, you can see life with a clarity that was hidden before. And in this quiet space, something beautiful happens. You begin to accept yourself fully. You realize that you don't need to become someone else to be loved or respected. You find freedom in embracing who you already are. This journey of self-discovery does not lead you away from life. It brings you back to it with a deeper understanding and a stronger sense of purpose. It opens the door to profound inner peace, where you can stand in the world rooted in your truth, unafraid to live as your truest self. So, cherish your moments of solitude. For in this silent embrace, you will find not emptiness, but the vast, unshakable peace that has always lived within you. 5. The unshakable strength of self-reliance. Take a moment to imagine a towering mountain. Its peaks stand firm against fierce winds, heavy rains, and blazing suns. It does not depend on the support of the forest below or the clouds above. Its strength comes from deep within the earth, rooted and unmovable. This is the quiet power of self-reliance. Buddhism teaches us that true freedom begins when we realize that our well-being, happiness, and progress are our own responsibility. Yet so many of us spend our lives leaning on others for validation, approval, or even the courage to take our next step. What if you discovered that the strength you seek is already within you? When you spend time alone in silence, away from the distractions of the world, you begin to see your own capabilities with clarity. You realize that you are strong enough to handle life's storms, wise enough to find solutions to your challenges, and resilient enough to rise every time you fall. This does not mean you must shut people out or refuse help when needed. Buddhism never teaches us to isolate ourselves in pride. Rather, it reminds us that your ultimate source of strength must come from within. Imagine facing difficulties without fear, knowing that you carry the skills and inner wisdom to navigate them. This realization fills you with an empowering sense of confidence. You no longer live for the approval of others. You stop waiting for someone to tell you what to do. Instead, you trust your own judgment, your own intuition, and your own decisions. In this trust, you gain a deep sense of peace, because you are no longer a leaf blown by the winds of other people's opinions. You become like the mountain, rooted, strong, and calm, no matter what storms rage around you. Self-reliance is not about building walls or refusing connection. It is about understanding that your happiness, security, and peace do not depend on anyone else. You can still love deeply, form meaningful relationships, and accept guidance, but you will never again lose yourself to gain the acceptance of another. Over time, this journey of relying on yourself transforms your view of life's challenges. You stop fearing obstacles. Instead, you see them as sacred opportunities to grow even stronger, to deepen your resilience, and to honor the quiet power that lives within you. Remember this: you are your own best ally. The answers you seek are not hidden in the world, they are already within you, waiting patiently for you to trust yourself enough to uncover them. 6. Embrace self-companionship. You are enough. Have you ever noticed how the world constantly whispers that you are incomplete? That you need someone else's approval to feel worthy, or another's presence to feel whole? From social media likes to romantic validation, we are conditioned to seek ourselves in the eyes of others. But Buddhist wisdom reveals a far deeper truth. You are already enough, exactly as you are. Self-companionship is the art of becoming your own closest friend. It is the practice of looking within and finding peace in your own presence. Imagine waking up each morning and instead of feeling restless or lonely, you feel grateful for the quiet company of your own heart. When you spend time alone, free from the noise of other people's opinions, something beautiful happens. You begin to see yourself clearly, your thoughts, your fears, your hidden dreams. You start understanding what makes you feel alive and what dims your spirit. This self-awareness is not a luxury, it is the foundation of true wisdom. You realize that your worth is not built on how others see you, but on how you see yourself. You accept your imperfections with kindness, your strengths with humility, and your uniqueness with quiet pride. In this acceptance, you find liberation, a freedom from the exhausting burden of trying to live up to someone else's expectations. Embracing self-companionship is also about treating yourself with deep compassion. Too often, we become our own harshest critics, quick to scold and slow to forgive. But imagine if you spoke to yourself with the same gentleness you would offer to a dear friend. When you stumble, instead of drowning in self-blame, you whisper, "It's okay, you're learning, keep going." This inner kindness builds an unbreakable foundation of self-love. You become emotionally independent, no longer driven by a desperate need for others to tell you that you are worthy. You find confidence growing quietly within, blooming like a lotus rising from muddy waters. And as this confidence deepens, you discover a powerful truth. Your happiness does not depend on external approval. You are no longer a prisoner to praise or criticism. Whether the world applauds or dismisses you, your heart remains steady, rooted in self-respect. This self-companionship radiates outward, creating more authentic relationships. You no longer seek connections out of fear of loneliness or a desire to be completed. Instead, you build relationships based on love, respect, and genuine connection, where two whole people come together to share their journeys. Being alone no longer feels like a punishment. It becomes a sanctuary where you can recharge, reflect, and realign with your deepest values. In this solitude, you explore hobbies you once ignored, read books that nourish your spirit, walk in nature, listening to your breath and footsteps merge with the earth. These simple joys awaken parts of you that were asleep in the noise of constant company. With every moment spent in self-companionship, your emotional resilience grows. You become less reactive to the world's chaos and more anchored in inner peace. Life's storms still come, but they no longer uproot you. Instead, you stand calm, knowing your strength lies not in the outside world, but in the unbreakable bond you've built within yourself. Remember, being independent does not mean isolating yourself. It means realizing that your happiness, security, and peace are not gifts others can grant or take away. They are treasures already alive within you. When you embrace self-companionship, you become your own anchor in uncertain times, your own source of love on lonely days, and your own wellspring of joy when the world feels empty. You carry this unshakable contentment wherever you go, rooted deeply in the truth that you are enough, today, tomorrow, and always. And as you walk this path of self-companionship, you begin to realize a profound freedom. Life is not about finding someone to complete you. It is about becoming so whole within yourself that you can meet the world with an open heart, unafraid, peaceful, and deeply alive. 7. The liberating power of embracing your individuality. Have you ever paused to notice how the world is always trying to shape you into someone else? From the way you dress, think, and speak, to the dreams you are told to chase, society creates silent molds for us to fit into. But Buddhist wisdom invites us to a deeper realization. Your individuality is not a flaw to fix. It is your greatest strength to honor. Imagine a vast forest filled with countless trees. No two trees are identical. Some stand tall and straight. Others bend with graceful curves. Some bloom with bright flowers. Others carry deep roots hidden beneath the earth. Each tree adds to the forest's beauty, precisely because of its uniqueness. In the same way, your distinct nature adds beauty to this world. Being an individual means embracing who you truly are without shrinking yourself to fit into society's narrow boxes. It is the courage to stand in your own truth and say, "This is who I am, and that is enough." When you spend time alone in silence, you reconnect with this authentic self. You are no longer clouded by the noise of other people's expectations or judgments. In that quiet space, you begin to hear your own thoughts clearly and feel your own desires deeply. You realize what truly matters to you, what brings your soul peace, what ignites your passions, and what feels misaligned with your path. Buddhism teaches us that honoring your individuality is an act of freedom. It is understanding that you were never meant to be like everyone else. You are here to walk your own path, make your own choices, and live a life shaped by your inner compass, rather than society's map. This realization brings powerful liberation. You stop comparing yourself to others, and instead focus on nurturing your unique gifts. You begin to trust your judgment, knowing that your life does not need to look like anyone else's to be meaningful. You find confidence not in imitation, but in authenticity. Of course, being an individual sometimes means standing alone. There will be moments when your beliefs, values, or decisions clash with those around you. In such times, stay rooted in your truth. Buddha reminded his disciples that real strength comes from within, from the quiet confidence of knowing who you are, even when others do not understand. When you embrace your uniqueness, you also allow others to embrace theirs. Your authenticity gives them silent permission to be themselves without fear of judgment. This creates deeper and more honest connections. You no longer seek relationships where you must pretend. Instead, you connect from a place of truth, building bonds rooted in respect and genuine understanding. People are naturally drawn to honesty. When you show up as your real self, you attract those who value you for who you truly are. You begin to realize that your life experiences, challenges, and perspectives hold a wisdom no one else can replicate. Your voice, your thoughts, your journey, they all carry a purpose only you can fulfill. Imagine if every star in the sky tried to shine exactly the same way. The night would lose its beauty. In the same way, your individuality lights up the world in a way no one else can. You bring meaning through your unique view, your silent struggles, your hidden victories, and the quiet wisdom you have gathered along the way. Embracing your individuality is not about isolating yourself from the world. It is about engaging with it in your truest form. You stop copying others and begin to live boldly as yourself. And in that freedom, you find an unshakable peace, knowing that your greatest power lies not in becoming like everyone else, but in being completely, unapologetically, beautifully you. Conclusion. As we come to the end of this journey, take a quiet moment to breathe and reflect on what you've discovered today. In a world that constantly demands your attention, praises conformity, and feeds your fears of being alone, Buddhist wisdom offers you a gentle truth. You already carry within you everything you seek. Your solitude is not emptiness, but a sanctuary. Your individuality is not an obstacle, but a gift. And your self-companionship